Dr. Kemp here, the Hammond Doc. Working on a Leslie 122 amplifier, refurbishing it. But before I go any further, I wanted to point out something to you in this amp. These two Black Cat capacitors rated at 0.05 microfarad 600 volts DC. These caps are referred to in the literature by many as death caps, and the reason being is that when these capacitors go bad, then you have the potential for voltage current to run through the chassis of this amplifier. And so if you were to touch the amp, touch the chassis, you could be actually electrocuted because of the current running through the chassis of the amp when these caps go bad. Now, what is the purpose, the intended purpose of these death caps? Well, the intended purpose of these death caps is to control for RF frequencies, radio waves, that the amp might pick up. For example, when you're close to a radio station and you hear the radio broadcast coming through the amplifier. So these capacitors are placed here to cut down on those types of radio frequencies. Now, what many say what you should do is just get rid of the death caps. Because unless you're close to a radio station, you're not likely to have bleed over or bleed through. But I live near a radio station, actually, and so I know what bleed through sounds like. And so the option here, of course, is to use an appropriate capacitor for a replacement. And here it is. These are called XY safety capacitors. And so by installing these capacitors, these safety capacitors in here, you can safely remove these, replace them with the safety rated capacitors, and pretty much be guaranteed another 50, 60, 70 years of service with this amplifier without having to worry about these capacitors going bad and someone touching the chassis of the amplifier and being electrocuted as a result of the current running through the chassis. So this is what I use. So when I remove the death caps, I replace them with safety rated capacitors. So that's something that I wanted to share with you on today. This is Dr. Kemp, the Hammond Doc. Peace out.